The Future of Learning Spaces, a critical reflection by Leslie Davis. The future of learning spaces revolves around the increasing importance of the informal learning environment, in which learning is a continuous activity that extends beyond the time and space limitations of the traditional educational institution. Learning spaces are where educational practitioners and peer learners can communicate and interact physically and/or digitally at a time and place that meets their own requirements. As Cuscorpi and Gonzalez predict, future advances in technology will influence learning methods that, in turn, will require dynamic learning spaces. Physical learning spaces in the future must follow certain stipulations as outlined by the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. They must be cost-effective in building operations that are sustainable and harmonious with the environment. They must offer a secure and stimulating setting. They must support various pedagogies. And they must encourage participation. The natural and built environments of a school can be stimulating learning spaces that actively demonstrate the lessons and concepts of traditional textbooks. For example, according to FutureTimeline.net, by 2050, urban buildings will be self-sufficient with integrated energy systems and environmental controls, ensuring that nature will be intrinsic to the architectural design. As well, advanced 3D printers can be on site to manufacture anything from furniture to structural pieces that fix the building itself. These learning spaces will need to be flexible, sustainable, and modifiable in supporting teaching and learning operations. The layout and furniture configurations of the classroom, for instance, will maximize the full use of space for facilitating activities ranging from individual study to group work, and for allowing open access to information technology. As classrooms become increasingly digitized and embedded with technology, education will be constantly interconnected for greater collaborative and constructivist learning environments. By 2030, school-based educational technology will evolve from tablets, classroom performance dashboards, and desk and wall-side screens to eye and attention tracking and reactive materials and furniture. According to Taylor, future learning environments will include studios and laboratories with worldwide multimedia communication centers with interactive video for encyclopedia verbal visual information retrieval. Different future scenarios, however, see the deinstitutionalization of schooling, since learning is taking place outside school, at home, and online. By 2025, Redeker et al. Propose that schools will have started to turn to external learning resources and practical learning opportunities. As such, real-time interaction through telepresence systems, holographic video conferencing, virtual realities, and massively multiplayer online gaming will allow participants outside the physical school environment to feel immersed in their collaborative exchanges. By 2040, virtual physical studios will include eyewear and head-up displays for video gaming devices, holography, retinal screens, immersive virtual reality, and ultimately, neuroinformatics for greater personalized learning. Accessibility to learning will increase as mobile technologies allow a greater range of interaction for a greater number of individuals around the world. For developing nations, the transformative paradigm of the 21st century, dubbed Education 3.0, will connect knowledge systems to those without access to formal education. In addition to mobile technology, open source technologies and cloud computing will also allow for continual access to learning, making education centered on the student, not the educational institution. Resilient cloud computing, for example, can offer cloud-based software, platforms, and infrastructure for securely building and managing public, private, and hybrid clouds. Educational institutions will, therefore, have to become flexible, open, and adaptive infrastructures that inspire a community network to engage all citizens. Rather than employing instructional technology that is top-down, designer-determined, administratively driven, and commercially fashioned, participants will be engaged because they can customize their own learning environment. Dynamic learning ecosystems will emerge as communities around the world benefit from the proliferation of learning resources. These communities will build on social and reputational capital to inspire the cooperation and coordination of learning exchanges. Data trails and visualization tools will reveal a visible data picture of how individuals experience and contribute to group activities and interactions with others, and subsequently of how those individuals may be supported. To also meet the needs of both learners and the community at large, various learning experiences will be outsourced to new groups of independent learning agents in order to relieve the overburdened public education system. Students and their parents organize their own learning space, either working on their own or commissioning education practitioners to facilitate certain subjects or projects. As the role of the teacher changes, so must their trust in their students' capabilities, their own ability to facilitate rather than teach, and their need to be challenged and motivated. Community learning resource applications and websites will make collaboratively constructed maps of learning opportunities and issues around the neighborhood and community, allowing members to navigate the learning landscape with greater ease and awareness. In education, reputation and recommendation systems will assist in finding the best available resources for collaborative research projects and other assignments. Ideally, a blended education system with both face-to-face and online learning spaces would be available so students who may prefer one learning environment to the other may benefit. Ultimately, educationally advanced nations will recognize that the future of education requires innovative approaches, including contextual and authentic learning sites, networked local, technological, and social forums of learning, blended teaching methods, and hybrid learning resources.